Hello there, my name is Brother Sean, and this short recording will lead into a series of short videos, all to do with embracing a monastery without walls. But first, we ask the question, what is a monastery without walls? Well, it's not a monastery in the traditional sense, like the monasteries I lived in as a young Catholic nursing monk in Ireland, America, and parts of the United Kingdom. A traditional monastery, you have to leave your family and friends, resign your job, where you end up entering a period of probation as a postulant, as a novice for 2 years, and then you become professed as a monk. But during that period of time and change and process, you undergo a training in an understanding of the monastic life, culminating in taking your 3 vows of poverty, celibacy, and obedience. It's a strict life, it's a life of discipline and a life of prayer. And you are not really in control of your destiny per se, because everything is done to a rigorous timetable of the time you get up to the time you go to bed. And when I was a young monk in training, everything was done to the sound of a bell. Watches and mirrors did not focus or play an important part in your daily routine. But coming to the monastery without walls is a whole new concept for modern man and woman. But yet Francis of Assisi, whom I follow as a lay monastic, a member of the Teo community of St. Francis, who embrace all faiths and none, Francis lived in a monastery without walls. He usually slept in a cave, under the sun and the stars. He was a great foot soldier, an eco-spiritual warrior, who not only embraced all faiths, but he left us a blueprint of how we can live a simple life in a monastery without walls, like I do here in Cumbria. So what are the benefits of such a monastery? Well, for a start, you retain your own individuality. You become a member, yes, if you wish, of the Teo community of St. Francis, an online lay monastic community who meet 3 times a day. We meet for morning prayer at 9 o'clock and 5 o'clock for Vespers, online on our live stream channel, the Franciscan Abbey of Peace and Compassion. And then, of course, we have a vigil which runs for 1 hour every evening, dedicated to Gaia, Mother Earth, for the restoration of Jerusalem, for peace in the world, and that all faiths will unite as one loving family. A tall order, you might say. But coming together online is our contact, where we embrace each other in brotherly and sisterly love. And that frees us up, because being in this monastery without walls, the advantages are many, because we live the life in accordance with the many demands placed upon us. You may be married, you may be in employment, you may have children, so you have to prioritize. But you can still live a monastic life from your own home. If you are already a spiritual person who believes in the power of prayer, meditation, exercise, you don't necessarily have to convert to Catholicism. If you're a Buddhist, you remain a Buddhist. And that's the beauty of being part of an interspiritual group of Franciscans. We have Christians, we have Buddhists, we have pagans and Wiccan, Labels don't matter. What matters is that you're willing to become a member and embrace your spiritual path. And the beautiful thing about the Monastery Without Walls is that there's no set timetable like there was for me in the Catholic monastery. You get up when you want, you go to bed when you want, you can watch television or you can choose to throw it out. You are empowered to make the choices that are right for you. But the greatest benefit, you don't have to say goodbye to your family, your friends, or your partner and renounce all of that like I did. And then when I was guided to leave after 8 years, the downside was that I didn't know my family and my family didn't know me because there was a form of brainwashing. You're stripped of your identity and you lose that closeness with brothers and sisters because you're not there watching them grow up. So it's understanding that you drift apart. Still love them, but that closeness is severed. So your Monastery Without Walls has many, many advantages. And if you choose to join the Teo community, you write your rule of life. You're not given a rule of life. You can be given examples, but you're empowered to write your own rule of life. The times you can commit to prayer, meditation, reading, spiritual reading, exercise, and you can blend all of that in with your active ministry, whether you're working in a factory, in a shop, in an office, wherever. It's about balancing your time and your energy. The disadvantages, however, of living in a monastery without walls, if you're someone who likes to be led, then you will struggle. If you're someone who needs to be told what to do, it will be an uphill struggle. The advantages of living in a traditional monastery is that it does attract a certain mindset, as I've just shared with you, those who have difficulty planning their day, who like to be led. They're not leaders, but they like to be led. So they will blend in really well, except of course if they're past 38, because many monasteries won't entertain vocations past a certain age, such as 40. And I can understand that, can't you? Because our mindset is set. Whereas if you enter a monastery as a young person, you can go with the flow much more easily than you can if you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s, because we do get set in our ways. So to live in a monastery without walls, for me, has far more benefits, more advantageous for my soul than in a traditional monastery which I've lived in, because I'm free. I'm free to choose. I'm free to plan my day. And that, I think, requires a lot more discipline than in a traditional monastery where everything is done for you. I hope the explanation has helped you. But remember, we are all monks. The moment we were born, we had the seal of love implanted in our being. We came from Source, the Supreme. So our journey is about honoring the I Am presence within us, and to live that life as a married person or as a single person in a monastery without walls, as a member of a loving community who do not make demands upon you, who are willing to share with you and break bread with you in prayer. I hope this has helped. Namaste.